Hello and welcome to the Singapore Turf Club. I'm Mohit Lalwani here on Horse Sense at Kranji to bring you all the horse racing action from Singapore on the track and behind the scenes. Let's get started at the very top. The Qipco Champion Stakes heralds the end of the English racing season. Run at Ascot each year, some of the great champions have included Sir Stes Aigle and most recently Franco. The day began with a commemoration for the champion jockey Sylvester de Souza, who has ridden plenty of times in India, most famously known for his victory on Antonios in the Derby. With the ceremonial formalities out of the way, the serious business of horse racing began, and the first one was the Champions Cup over a trip.
Forward to today, and here's the first of them. They jump away for this Qipco British Champions Long Distance Cup, and on the far side, flying officer in the white jacket is one of the early leaders, Murder Nui, and stable companion Palisator in the claret jacket coming through, and on the near side, Agent Murphy in yellow colours. Then Agent Murphy out wide, Sugio from Litigant, Palisator in a group fast, trying to fight his way through Forgotten Rules in a barging match there. A similar story last year as Flying Officer now takes over from Wicklow Brave. They run towards the final furlong. Flying Officer by a length and a half here in the hands of Frankie Dettori, chased home by Wicklow Brave. Clever Cookie putting late work, but it's too late and racing up towards the line. Flying Officer from the dashing Clever Cookie. Flying Officer wins.
Next up, it came time for the sprinters, and the field included a very talented Muharir, as well as India's very own Gordon Lord Byron, the multiple classic winner who'd race in Dr. Cyrus Poonawala's Silks.
And they're off and racing. And from the stalls, Eastern Impact's out well with Lightning Moon away to the far side. Muharar is taken towards the centre of the course to track Lancelot Dulac. The Tin Man's also in that group. Near side, not going so fast early on. Heaven's Guest with Emperor Max, Twilight Sun, Gordon Lord Byron, Aeolus, Danzino and Gathering Power in the right-hand group. Twilight Sun over on the near side with Gordon Lord Byron trying to stay on. Muharar moves to the front. The Boom 3-year-old goes to the lead. Twilight Sun, Emperor Max for Singapore. Danzino and Gathering Power. But Muharar is scorching away from Twilight Sun, the younger generation holding sway, and this is a good one. Muharar, another Group 1, beats Twilight Sun, Danzino.
Muharir proved far too good for the lot and will be retired after this performance. It was then time for the fillies and mares, and they battled it out over a mile and a half. It was an extremely classy performance.
All set and they're off. Mile and a half in front of the field. Simple Verse jumps out well from that wide out stall, but the rider just hangs fire for a moment or two to see what develops in front, and Journey and also Arabian Queen moving forward. 2.5 furlongs to go. Arabian Queen out in front. Journey in second place for Frankie Dettori. Simple Verse, Covert Love down the outside. Sikalisi wider out Bocca Bacciata. Frankie takes over again on Journey. Simple Verse into second. Covert Love, Sikalisi down the outside with Bocca Bacciata. It is Journey out in front with a furlong and a half to go. Simple Verse in pursuit. Bocca Bacciata down the outside. Journey with Simple Verse throwing down a sustained challenge. Journey, Simple Verse coming at Journey. Journey narrowly. Simple Verse takes it up. No doubt this time. Simple Verse, the Ledger winner, won the British Champions Fillies and Mares.
The big question mark leading into this race day was whether or not Glen Eagles would take his place in the Queen Anne against the French champion Solo. Finally, Aidan O'Brien, after misgivings about the surface, decided to run his champion, but on the day it was Solo who proved to be the real champion.
That is it. And they're off and racing for the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes, and the early feature not a frantic gallop. Elm Park moves to the lead for Andrea Atzeni. Solo immediately drops onto the leader's tail in company with Cody Bear, and the two have a bit of a barging match as Cody Bear is a little reluctant to drop his head and now pursues the leader, but is still lit up in second place. Solo in third place. Glen Eagles with a little bit of work to do. He's shaken up the moment of truth. Cody Bear edging over to the near side, far side Elm Park. Solo trying to bridge the gap. So's Glen Eagles and Integral. Solo coming at Elm Park. Glen Eagles over on the far side. outside. Cody Bear, Integral running a mighty race. Solo has got to the lead, past Elm Park. Glen Eagles with work to do and time running out. And it's Solo the grey in front. Bellado coming late on the scene, but Solo continues this perfect season and wins the Queen Elizabeth II.
Solo, a gelding, will stay in training, while Glen Eagles is likely to go to the United States, having used this race as a prep. It was now time for the Champion Stakes, and for the last time in the year, for a champion to be crowned.
Champion Stakes. Short runs, a Swinley bottom. Jack Hobbs drawn one from the outside. His pacemaker Maverick Wave going forward in the red cap. Jack Hobbs away well, and William Buick has the opportunity to get across as they run down the hill. He may be caught still 3 or 4 wide, in fact, as Maverick Wave gets across now. Jack Hobbs using up a little bit of juice to go into second place. Then Vadamos and the Corsican. The Corsican just ahead of Vadamos, followed by Air Pilot, racing history round the inside. Palace Prince in the midfield. Then Lightning Spear and Found will still have to pass every one of them to win as Jack Hobbs cruises alongside Maverick Wave, but quickly joined by the Corsican. He says go on Jack Hobbs. They're grouping in behind. The Corsican in second. Air Pilot with a run, and then dropping inside is Fascinating Rock, and Found is diving for the far rail under Ryan Moore. Jack Hobbs not by very much to Fascinating Rock. Out wide Air Pilot. Found is still running on. Fascinating Rock just about getting past Jack Hobbs. Then Found with a late run. Fascinating Rock is just too strong, and Fascinating Rock wins the champion. Found are never near a second. Jack Hobbs only third.
It's been a year of greatness. Glen Eagles, Solo, and Golden Horn are just some of the names that have dominated through the year. 2016 has plenty to offer, but for now, the champions will be put away in their barns to winter for next spring.
Well, it's time for a short break. On that note, we'll come right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Horse Sense and Singapore Turf Club. Let's move right along.
The use of technology for vets is fast changing. Even something as subjective as lameness in horses has been narrowed down to a precise science. Dr. Dan of the Singapore Turf Club introduced me to a new innovation that leaves no margin for error.
Lameness is a gait characterised by limping. So basically what it demonstrates is there's some sort of pain somewhere in the horse's leg that's altering the way it moves. Now, it's very important for performance horses that they are sound so they can perform at their best. And also, lameness may be indicative of some problem that if we don't pick it up early enough, could lead to a catastrophic fracture on the track. So it's very important for us to find where the horse is lame and why it's lame. Traditionally, to look at a lame horse, we look at it with our eyes and see how it moves, and we decide on what leg it's lame. The problem with this is that the human eye and the human brain cannot analyse all the information correctly, even experienced people, to get exact diagnosis of body movement. Hence we use what we call the lameness locator, which are sensors that are placed on the horse's body at various parts to accurately measure in time and distance how the heads and the limbs are moving. We put it on a computer and then it'll tell us exactly where the horse is lame.
How expensive is this equipment?
It costs in the region of $20,000, so it's actually getting relatively inexpensive from a few years ago. Now they have this is a very nice system called the lameness locator that comes from America. We've had it in the Turf Club for about 6 months now, and I must say the results are very, very good. It's easy to put on, easy to put together. The horses tolerate it very well, and it gives us some very interesting results. So we basically put the pieces together. A lot of the technology it uses comes from iPhones. So with the iPhone invention, they've just adapted the technology. The iPhone goes up and down, correct, and it changes around. That's those sort of sensors are placed on the horse. One on the tail, one ahead. And one on the right for Paston. So, only just with these 3 sensors, using computer programs, the program can work out the gait of the horse and if it's lame in any of the limbs.
How sensitive is it? Can it pick up a problem really at the start as well?
Yes, it's very sensitive. In tests, they've compared the machine against 3 or 4 expert veterinarians, and they induce lamenesses by putting a special shoe on and slowly tighten a little bolt. And the machine can pick up a lameness a lot earlier and a lot more accurately than a panel of experts. It comes down to your human eye can only see so many frames per second, whereas this machine can see hundreds per second, and also it's the memory. Our brain remembers what we see and tries to analyse it, where this computer program just cannot forget anything and averages out all the gaits to give an accurate diagnosis. Okay, we're ready to go, that quick. We're ready to go. Okay, Amy, trot the horse up and down. Watch the horse trot, see what we think, and then we'll have a look at see what the computer says. So, we have two ways of looking at this. We can look at our human eye and say what we think, or we can go to the lameness locator and get a detailed printout, a readout of the gait. To my eye, the horse looks reasonably sound. I can't see a lot wrong. Maybe something behind, maybe left hind, maybe right fore, very minor. But I'd be hard pressed to say for certainty where this horse is lame. Now the machine just asks us to accept, is that pattern of stride good for analysis? We'll say yes, it is. And there we go. Right fore lameness. As I said, I thought I saw something right fore, but I couldn't be certain, and for sure, there it is. Right fore, right hind. So there we go. I thought maybe left hind, but it was right fore, right hind. Quite minor, but definitely there, significant.
So it even indicates the degree of intensity?
Yes. This is just over the degree of significance. So this has got, I'll read it out. Strong evidence of mild right fore lameness and strong evidence of mild to moderate right hind lameness. So it gives you the degree. Accurate. Yeah.
And I'm guessing far more efficient as well, right?
Oh, very efficient, and it's unaffected by bias. Your memory of the history and what you think should be wrong with the horse, there's no problems there. And it's a permanent record. So now we have a baseline of this horse's trot, and we can check again in the future and check if our treatments are working as we hopefully get the horse to perform better.
Well, let's take a break on that note. We'll come right back with lots more. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Horse Sense. Time now for us to wrap up this episode. Well, it's our last feature race.
It is the race that stops a nation, and on the first Tuesday in November, even schools remain closed in Victoria for the Melbourne Cup in Australia. Women trainers have won this race, but no woman in history has ever ridden the winner. In fact, only 4 had ever ridden in the 2-mile handicap, and for Michelle Payne, a 100-to-1 shot Prince of Penzance was possibly more than just a long shot. He was a dream that she went to sleep with the night before, and one that she really hasn't woken up yet from, in a manner of speaking.
They're off. Trip to Paris jumped well, so did the offer, and Fame Game being eased in the early part of the race. Away pretty quickly, Who Shot the Barman, Sartorius Criterion, Max Dynamite not too far away, down towards the inside, they're quite prominent. Over towards the outside, Quest for More is riding forward, Big Orange maintaining his line with Excess Knowledge on his outside, but they're both heading up towards the front-running horses. It's quite a bunch field, not a tremendous amount of speed about in the early part. Fame Game's gone right back, he has about 4 or 5 behind him in his outside El Moon Quith. Quest for More had crossed down to the rails and he has the lead, but they're not going particularly hard. Quest for More being joined by Big Orange. Excess Knowledge out wide on the course. He's pasted deep without any cover. Snow Sky Pink Cam is fourth, and they're followed Criterion on the inside, and Trip to Paris gets a nice run. A length and a half, Who Shot the Barman, Max Dynamite, and then Sky Hunter on the outside. About a length and a half further back in the field is Bondi Beach, Prince of Penzance and Grand Marshal. Back behind those horses then is Our Ivanhoe on the inside, and then Hocko, Brave, Red Cato, Sartorius, The Offer. About a length further back, Gust of Wind on the inside. They're followed then by the United States and Fame Game, and well back in the field is El Moonquith. Hartnell the outside, followed by Preferment. And a length away is Kingfisher. He's at the tail end of the field. So they make their way along the riverside of the course now. And the field is being led by Big Orange now. He's out by 2 lengths. Excess Knowledge is second. Quest for More is third. Snow Sky is fourth. And Criterion getting a beautiful trail fifth. A length to Trip to Paris. As they make their way by the 1600 metres next, Max Dynamite. Posted a little bit deep, then Sky Hunter, followed by Who Shot the Barman, Prince of Penzance. Then came Grand Marshal. He'd be dead set middle of the field at the moment, being followed Bondi Beach out 3 wide, and then Our Ivanhoe being followed by Hocko Brave. A length further back is Red Cadeau. With him is The Offer over on the outside as they make their way down the back of the course, and about a length and a half further back in the field then is a Gust of Wind down on the inside. Back behind those horses then is El Moonquith as a fair way back in the field. Sartorius was outside of Red Cadeau, and they're followed now Fame Game. He'd be 20 lengths away from the leader. They're being followed then by Preferment at the end of the field. Kingfisher is still back last. Hartnell's about third last. Coming up the side of the course, they race before the home turn. Big Orange from Excess Knowledge. A length away then, Quest for More. Trip to Paris. He's working into it on the outside, and so is Snow Sky wide out. Then came Criterion trying to find a way through. Round the outside came Sky Hunter, and Bondi Beach off the track is making ground 2. Our Ivanhoe waiting for a run down on the inside as they bunch up around the turn. Now Fame Game, he's got to the extreme outside with The Offer. Big Orange first for home from Excess Knowledge. Snow Sky joining in, and now Trip to Paris is coming. They're followed then by Who Shot the Barman, going for a run on the inside as Our Ivanhoe. Coming past the 300 metres, Excess Knowledge went to the lead narrowly. Here's Prince of Penzance coming on down the outside. Prince of Penzance from Michelle Payne. Now Max Dynamite starts to charge home. Prince of Penzance from Max Dynamite. Prince of Penzance, it's history at Flemington. Michelle Payne. Prince of Penzance beat Max Dynamite. Criterion's run third, then either Trip to Paris, Gust of Wind, or Big Orange. The next one's over.
Michelle Payne drove Prince of Penzance home to create history even as talks of her retirement made the rounds. It was truly a special moment as she and her brother, who suffers from Down syndrome and who also is a strapper, was by her side, proving that fairy tales do indeed come true.
Well, and that's all we have on this episode of Horse Sense. Do hope you've enjoyed the show. Till I see you on the next episode. Goodbye, thank you, and as always, may the horse be with you.